it's Stephanie with the Rancher's Homestead. Welcome back to the channel. So this past couple, I would say 3-4 weeks, we have been hit hard with sickness. It feels like every week somebody has something, and we're kind of all just getting over a cold now. So I thought I'd do a video as we are entering into cold and flu season, and typically we don't get sick a ton, but when we do, I start pulling out all the stops of my home remedies. So I thought I would take you along today and show you the things that we did for this cold that we all got. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is it's best to be prepared than to be unprepared for when sickness strikes. So when you get sick, there are some home remedies that you can make up really, really quickly and get going. But then there are things that need to have some time. And so thinking these things through and having them on hand is the best way to go. I will go ahead and drop a link to a previous video where I did take a peek inside my medicine cabinet and showed you the things that I get prepared ahead of time when I need to have them on hand for when we get sick. What I'm going to show you today is all the things we did last week to help our symptoms and to help us get over this faster. All of those are quick home remedies that you don't need to have ahead of time, with the exception of one. The one thing that I did do for myself, the kids don't really like it, and it's really hard for me to get it down, but putting it in some juice might help, is I do have echinacea tincture, and I started taking that right at the first sign of symptoms. My cold lasted maybe 3 days. I'm still a little bit congested, but definitely I never had the body ache. So the very first day, I had a sore throat, my head hurt, and I felt the congestion coming on, my chest hurt. I started taking this echinacea tincture, 1 dropper full every single hour, and the next morning, I didn't have any of those bad symptoms where I had the body aches and I couldn't get out of bed. I could still function just fine. I just had some congestion and a little bit of a cough. My other daughter, same kind of thing. She still has the cough really bad, but the rest of her symptoms have gone away, and her throat doesn't hurt quite as much anymore, and her head and all of that. So echinacea tincture, though, needs to be made up about 4 to 6 weeks ahead of time and steeped in your cabinet. So it is important to get this made up ahead of time. Speaking of echinacea tincture, the recipe came from Be Your Own Doctor. Every remedy that we use, I wouldn't say every, but a lot of them come from this book. It's one of my favorite books. It's by Rachel Weaver. She actually has 4 of them. I have all 4, but I feel like I pull from this one the most. And it's one of those books that are really easy to follow, really easy to look through and just look up an ailment. And it has the most all home remedies that you probably already have all the ingredients and you don't have to make up ahead of time. There are tinctures and things that you do, but things like parsley tea or oregano tea or things like that, you don't need to make those up ahead of time. You can make them right when you need them. And this book is really, really good about using what you have: onions, garlic, that kind of stuff. One of the things I did for myself right off the get-go is I made this flu tea that's in here. I did change it just a little bit, but I mixed it all up here in this jar, and I just drank as many quarts as I could of it that day. I made a whole bunch of it, a half gallon of it, and I just drank that whole half gallon throughout the entire day of that first day of symptoms, and I think that had a huge role in it getting over fairly quickly. This is made up, I had everything but one, and that's where the variation comes. It's called flu tea, and it's 3 parts red raspberry leaf. So I do have red raspberry leaf tea right here, and so I had those herbs. It's 3 parts of that. That is phenomenal for getting rid of any kind of sickness and flushing your body out. It is 2 parts of peppermint leaf. It also calls for 1 part alfalfa leaf. I did not have alfalfa, so I went ahead and did echinacea root. It's 1 part of nettle leaf, which I do have that. And then it's a 1/4 a part of yarrow. So I did have that. That's up there. You can't see it, but I have a whole bunch of other herbs up there. So I mixed all of that into this. And then I went ahead and did, I think it says a 1/4 of a cup of this for 2 quarts of water. You steep it. You can drink it cold, This book says you can drink it cold or hot, but it also says if you can drink it hot because that's going to do really well for detoxing and flushing your body out. So like I said, I made a big batch of this up and I just drank and sipped on it all day long. I drank it hot, I drank it cold. It didn't matter. I just sipped on it all day long. And I do think that made a big difference. Most all of these herbs I either got on Amazon or I got on Azure Standard. Okay, the other thing I did for myself, I did not do this for the girls, is I started taking zinc right off the get-go. 1 tablet every single day. This is a pretty high potent one. It is 50 milligrams, and so I took one of these every single day. I think that was a huge help in it. Getting zinc into your body, vitamin C, all of those things. Wake your immune system up, tell it to start fighting. The other thing that I did for both my daughters and for myself was start taking elderberry syrup every single hour. So I tried to, as much as we can, I just had it set out on the counter, take a teaspoon. For us, I just let them drink as much as they will drink. And usually it's about a teaspoon. And drink it as much as you can. Get your immune system to wake up. I will put the link in the description for my elderberry syrup recipe. Here's your fair warning. Elderberry syrup is very, very sweet. It's a syrup. So if you can't stomach the sweetness of it, you can try putting it in a smoothie. You can try diluting it with something else, like another juice or something, maybe putting some in with some orange juice and making like a little mocktail. Or we have done it where I can link that as well, where we've added some beef gelatin to it and made them into gummies. They seem to take those just fine. The gummies do need to stay in the refrigerator if you do that because there are no preservatives in it. They are not shelf stable. However, when you heat up the elderberry syrup with the honey to be able to add the beef gelatin so that they come together into a gummy, it does kill some of the properties of the honey. And so when you're using raw honey, you want all of the great benefits of the raw honey. So if you heat it up, just know some of those properties are going to get killed depending on how hot. I try not to heat it up too much before I add the gelatin, just so I can keep some of the properties in there, but that does happen. Okay, now we're over here with all of my essential oils, and these play a huge role when we are sick. So I'm going to go through a few of them and just kind of tell you where I put them, how we use them when we're sick. I am not a big person on sticking with one brand. I kind of go between two, but I do use more doTERRA because I am a wellness advocate for it. Just for the sole fact of I like it for my own family and I get them at good cost. But I also use some Young Living as well because I have a friend that sells them, a very close friend, and so I just buy them from her to support her as well. The main thing you need to know about oils is not all oils are as pure as they say they are. So make sure you are using a reputable source. Make sure that you are getting a very powerful, strong oil and not a diluted oil. If you're just buying some random essential oil off of Amazon, it's probably diluted. It's probably not as powerful as it should be. And so you're paying for that. So I would go with a reputable source. So just make sure that wherever you get your oils from, that you know that they are good, pure oils. Okay, so here's what I do for congestion. So if we are congested, having a hard time breathing, I will go ahead and put Breathe on their chest and on the bottoms of their feet. And that is a doTERRA blend. So you will just have, it's a respiratory blend by doTERRA. So I think all companies have something similar to this. We just use Breathe all the time for that. Along with that, I will take a boiling pot of water, put the water into a mug, and then put a couple drops of rosemary extract into the mug and hold it up to your nose and breathe in the steam. This really opens up the passageways, and you only need a couple drops because it gets really powerful when the steam is not as hot anymore. I've even gone as far as you could put a towel over your head and hold the mug and really block in that steam and really suck that steam in. Let's see here. And then for a cough, if you have a cough that just won't subside, Breathe is really good on your feet. But also, I like to use lemon. This is a Young Living lemon. You can also get it from doTERRA or anywhere else. And lemon, I like to rub right here on my glands and it really just opens up those passageways and helps with the cough to subside. And so it's just all that drainage right here is what's making you cough when you lay down. So last night, my one daughter that got this nice nasally cold as well was coughing so bad at like 1 a.m. I just could hear her coughing through the walls. So I went in and she was kind of half asleep. She said she kind of remembers me telling her to roll over, and I rubbed lemon all right here, and she fell right back asleep. I also put some Breathe on her chest, and she fell right back asleep and slept the rest of the night, and I didn't hear her coughing. So lemon is really good right here. When we have a sore throat or just as an immune, really helps start fighting, frankincense. I usually put frankincense right here on our throat, and then I also put it on our spine. Lavender I just use on the bottoms of our feet before bed, and that's more just a soothingness. It really doesn't help with the symptoms, but it helps our bodies to relax and go to sleep. Thieves or doTERRA's brand of On Guard, either one of those. I actually have On Guard as well. These are just immune boosts. So typically you want to use these before you get sick. You want to try and fight off the sickness to come, get your immune system to fight anyways. But when you're sick, also you want to boost it. You want to wake it up. You want it to say, hey, fight, get this out of here. And so we'll put this on. I usually put it on our wrists. I'll put it on our spine or the bottom of our feet. And then if you feel like you need an antibiotic, or if you feel like you just need that extra oomph, oregano is so good. Now, it is a hot oil, so you do not want to put this on a small child without diluting it with another carrier oil, like a coconut oil or a sweet almond oil or something like that, olive oil, because it is hot. It'll burn. So this is really good on the spine, on the bottoms of the feet. I do it on our wrists. You could do it behind your ears. But oregano oil is a really good antibiotic and antibacterial. So I will also use this when I think we need that. Also, you could use, in place of oregano oil, garlic. So having a garlic tincture or garlic water or something like that, that's a really great antibiotic as well. If you can even stomach just a clove of garlic, that's great. If you have sore throat, I'm almost out. I'm almost out of it, but if you have, I'm not almost out of it. I need to add more to my big jar here. I have a 5-gallon bucket of raw honey. Local raw honey will do wonders for your sore throat and even a cough. If you can stomach it or your child can stomach it, take a spoonful of honey and straight down. It needs to be local raw honey, or if it's not local, at bare minimum raw. And it'll soothe your throat. It'll stop the cough. It'll coat it. It has antibacterial. It has anti-inflammatory properties in it. It's really, really good for sickness. I don't have any of this made up, but I will drop a link on how to make it. But another thing that would be really, really beneficial for congestion on the chest would be garlic salve. And you've probably heard me talk about it before, but it's real cloves of garlic minced up. It's lavender oil, it's olive oil, it's coconut oil, and it's mixed into the salve. You keep it in the fridge. It only lasts for about 2 weeks, so you can't make it ahead of time. You need to make it as you need to, and you rub it on your chest. You will smell garlicky, but it really does the job to break up any congestion in there. If you feel like it's really in your back parts of your lungs, you can also put it on your back, and it really just breaks everything up and lets you get that stuff up and out of your lungs if you feel like it's settled in there. The garlic also is a natural antibiotic. So our biggest organ is our skin, and having it seep into our skin is going to do wonders for that. So garlic salve is a really easy home remedy that you probably have everything you need for, and it'll really help break up any kind of congestion into your chest. And last but not least, that we all forget to do, lots and lots of water. Drink lots and lots of water or tea, but mostly water. Get your body very hydrated. Get plenty of sleep. There's nothing worse than being sick and then also having late nights and different things. It just makes your body so run down and wear through that all of these other home remedies may work and they're good, but they aren't going to fight as good unless you're having adequate water and adequate sleep. So drink lots of water. Make sure that you are getting lots of good sleeps, 8 hours plus a night, to really fight this cold off. When you're sleeping, so last night I talked about my daughter having that cough, I put some Breathe in a diffuser and stuck it in the room with a couple of drops of rosemary. And she fell right back to sleep and didn't cough the rest of the night. Get those diffusers going. Get these oils going within the air, and that'll help you breathing them in and help you get past this sickness sooner. Make sure to like and subscribe to the video. I send out one new video every single week. Jump on over to the blog and put in your email. I send out one email a week over there on Tuesdays, sharing our farm life, sharing gardening tips and canning tips, recipes, and all of those things. We'd love for you to join our community over there. I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that you stay well this season. And if you do come down with a sickness, that some of these home remedies that help us with a common cold will help you as well. And we will see you next time. Take care.